There was a boy who grew up in the narrow streets of Hong Kong, where dreams were smaller than the houses and chances were almost invisible. But this boy, he was different. While others ran from pain, he ran into it. While others dreamed of comfort, he dreamed of courage. He didn't have money, connections, or even confidence, but what he had was fire. The kind of fire that refuses to die even when the wind of failure blows hard. Every morning before the city even woke up, he trained. Punches, flips, stretches, jumps, again and again until his hands bled and his muscles screamed. He wasn't training to be famous. He was training to survive. He knew that if he didn't fight for his dream, no one else would. The bruises on his body weren't signs of weakness. They were medals of persistence. He started working as a stuntman. No safety nets, no fame, no mercy. Every fall hurt, every hit was real. But he smiled through the pain. Why? Because he believed every scar had a purpose. While others saw danger, he saw opportunity, a chance to grow stronger. The camera might cut, but his effort never did. He learned that life doesn't reward the safest, it rewards the bravest. Years passed. People started noticing the crazy boy who did his own stunts, the one who would crash through glass, fall from rooftops, and still stand up laughing. They didn't understand why he risked so much. But he did, because he knew pain is temporary, pride is forever. He believed that if you want to shine, you must first burn. There were times when he failed. Times when directors rejected him, audiences ignored him, and his body broke. There were nights he couldn't move, mornings he couldn't breathe. But quitting, that word never existed in his dictionary. He'd tape his wounds, take a deep breath, and try again. Because he knew, every time he got back up, he was one step closer to becoming unbreakable. He learned that greatness isn't about being the best. It's about being the last one standing. The world only sees your success, not the nights you cried, the bones you broke, or the sacrifices you made. But he didn't care. His purpose wasn't to be seen, it was to become something greater than pain, and that's what he became. Not just a fighter, but a symbol. A symbol of discipline, persistence, and laughter through pain. He showed the world that even when life knocks you down, you can rise, and with a smile. He never let failure define him. He used it as fuel. When others said, "It's impossible," he answered, "Watch me." 14 years. That's how long it took. 14 years of falling, failing, bleeding, and believing. 14 years before the world finally called him a legend. But he never called himself that. Because to him, greatness wasn't about fame. It was about endurance. About getting up one more time when your body says you can't. Now, when he looks back, he doesn't see the pain. He sees the journey. He sees the boy who refused to quit. The boy who turned bruises into lessons and fear into fuel. He sees a man who never asked for an easy path, only for the strength to keep walking. That's the real power. Not the strength of muscles, but the strength of spirit. He once said, "I'm not the strongest, I'm not the smartest, but I don't stop." That's my secret, and that's the lesson this generation must learn. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be relentless. You can scroll through motivation all day, but until you stand up and move, nothing changes. Success doesn't come from wishing. It comes from working. So, to every dreamer out there, remember this. The path to greatness is never smooth. You will fall. You will fail. People will laugh, doubt, and walk away. But if you keep going, if you refuse to stay down, then one day you'll look back and realize every struggle was worth it. Because the pain you feel today will become the strength you carry forever. Jackie Chan taught the world one thing. You don't need superpowers to be a hero. You just need heart. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to move forward despite fear. That's what makes a legend. Not luck, not talent, but persistence, so rise up. Break the limits. Fall and rise again. Laugh through the pain. Because life isn't about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up smiling.